for me, because every once in a while it wants me to re-input the RTMP URL and the stream key. So we'll see. Okay, it says it redirected. And let me see, on Facebook it says District Comedy is live now. Woo, 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 woo!
Hey, so this is when I start talking. Are we doing it? Are we in?
Hell yeah, we are.
Let's do it. Listen up. I got a script to read to you. Hello to our one, potentially two viewers, and welcome to tonight's episode of Too Funny Feedback Mike. My name is Becca, and co-hosting with the show is the fantastic Tom. Tonight, each of our comedians will be performing a 5-minute set. Please use the clock for keeping track of your set time. Tom, are you doing the clock?
Yeah, I will turn into a clock during people's sets, as is my magic trick.
He's going to transform like a Pokemon. It's going to be great. After your set, me and Tom will be given about 5 minutes of feedback before moving on to the next comedian. While we invite discussion during your allotted time, if we don't have time to address your concerns, follow up with us via email or on Facebook, and we'll be happy to go into it with more depth and everything. And I was about to read the closeout script, but I'm not going to do that just yet.
Oh.
Okay, so now I introduce our next comedian.
No. That the part that's to our audience we do at the top.
Ha 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 ha! I know how to do this. To our audience, keep in mind as we get started that our intention is to help facilitate the growth of our comedians who come to us with varying levels of experience. Also, comedy is subjective, so you might not agree with us, and that is okay. We are also learning how to give good feedback. Additionally, if you enjoy the show and want to support the stream, please consider making a donation while watching at districtcomedy.io or following the District Comedy platforms. The link to all of that can be found in the episode description. With that, let's get this party started. Please welcome our first comedian this evening. Is Amira in the room?
She is not.
Okay.
Ayo.
Sonia, are you in the mindset to kick it off for us today?
To kick some ass.
I'm in the room. I'm in the mindset. I'm here.
I love it. All right. We're gonna spotlight you.
Woo, woo, woo. I gotcha.
Okay, Tom's gonna do it. I'm just gonna keep talking because I'm a little nervous.
Yeah.
Rebecca, if you want to keep going through my set, feel free. If you want to, if that makes you feel.
We talk at the same time. It's just fantastic.
Do it.
All right, whatever you're ready.
I'm game. Okay. Hello to everyone in the room and to our one, maybe two viewers. So glad to be here. Thanks as always for putting this on because it's a really great event and I look forward to it. So yeah, I do. And I wanted to try out some new material that I've been workshopping. The only person or being that's heard it so far is my dog, and I don't know if I can really trust her judgment because she eats poop. So yeah, I'll leave it up to y'all to decide what you think. I feel like some people are just naturally born funny, and I've had to take a lot of classes. I usually get one reaction when I tell people that I do comedy, like, oh my God, you know who is so funny? Oh my God, you know Tom, right? Actually, originally I didn't. Anyway, Tom, oh my God, Tom is so funny. Oh, he's amazing. He cracks me up. Oh my gosh. And I'm like, wow, thank you so much. You have just lifted a weight off my shoulders because here I thought like I needed to try to make people laugh and I was carrying around this burden, and you're telling me that there's a white man out there who can do it better. Like, God. Thank God.
Thank God.
I can get back to deciding who wore it better. So my sister just I discovered craft beer for the first time years old. And I just discovered how terrible craft beer makes me feel years old. And before I realized that, and I was still in denial, I went out for my birthday. I just turned 31 and went to a brewery, and the bartender there, who must have been, I could have graduated last year from college, but I'm spending an extra year with my frat years old. He asked why we were there, and I told him it was my birthday. And proving that he really won't be graduating anytime soon, he said, let me guess. And I just turned 31, mind you. He said, 35? It's like, nah, bro. No. And then proving that, like, you really maybe shouldn't have been in college, he said, oh, like, sometimes you just can't tell with all the sun damage and stuff. I was like, sun damage with your eyes? But I didn't say that. I wish I had. And then he said, proving that he had done way too many keg stands. Look, it's your birthday. Like, let me give you a discount. I can give you 10% off your beer. And then proving that I have just really been socialized to make people like me, I said thank you and tipped him $1. Still haunts me, if I'm being honest. When I was in college, which maybe it's questionable that they let me in, I had the opportunity to go to Africa, which was amazing. I wish that everyone could go experience this because it was an incredible opportunity. And we learned Swahili, and we had this test coming up. And my friend and I decided that we were going to study in the school and spend the night there. So we'd be like super ready for the test. And again, like questionable judgment looking back on this. So to prepare, we went out, and being the white young adults that we were, we got this fresh juice that tasted like you were running through an orchard with your mouth open. And it was like purple and pink and orange and just beautiful and delicious. And we drank it and we went to study. And instead, we just spent the next 8 hours watching this beautiful juice evacuate our bodies. That's my time.
Woo, woo, woo,
Thanks so much.
Amazing.
It was so good. Awesome. Sorry, I gotta like take a second to go to gallery view and then turn myself back into not a clock.
Would it be?
But
do you want to go first, Tom? Or would it
I
be,
was thinking, because you did the intro, I'll jump into this one first.
Jump right in. Go.
But I really love this set. I feel like a lot of times we do like express how much we appreciate when you do the same material a couple times so that we can like see how you're taking the notes and that sort of thing. But obviously I'm not going to complain if you're going to like roll in here with like so much new material. I thought it was, really refreshing, and it was really relatable to I think a lot of people. And actually that's one of my first notes, is for like the bit that you start with. Like, I don't know if it's because like I am a comedian, and maybe I feel like everybody has at one point had an experience with like trying to do well in an art, though, that like the idea, and really there is a debate also around the whole like, being naturally funny or like taking classes to be funny. Like, it was interesting because I thought it was relatable, but also like you were kind of starting off your set in an interesting way, which I thought was like immediately like putting yourself kind of in a vulnerable place with the audience, which the benefit that has is that it makes us give you the benefit of the doubt right away. I like immediately want you to succeed. I immediately like want to be your friend, because you putting yourself out there like that with me makes me want to like reciprocate that same feeling, even though I can't obviously communicate my own vulnerabilities as an audience member. Unless we're doing crowd work, we don't need to do that. That's just therapy. That is just broadcast therapy at that point. I think that one area you may want to explore, because I thought that bit was so strong, is like, is there a way to connect that concept to your next bit, which is, I believe, was the bit where you were talking about your sister. Is that right?
Oh, yes.
So
Yeah.
like that segue, I think that like maybe explore if there's a way to connect those two ideas just to make it like a little bit smoother, or even, you know, worst case scenario, not that like I advocate doing this on the regular, but if you want to be like, and segue, let's talk about family stuff, you know, at least kind of like keeping in the theme of like, you know, meta things that comedians talk about, which it did have like a little bit of a meta feel to your set, which I appreciated. But yeah, again, like a lot of relatable stuff tonight. The next thing was like the whole experience about like the date with this younger guy, I thought was so fun. Like you have two really great opportunities here for like areas you can just mine for material. And the first is kind of like that, I feel like, and I don't know if my years are exactly right. I forget where the breakdowns are, but I feel like at least as a millennial myself, I'm like, there's a whole culture around like, oh my God, I'm so fucking old, but also like, fuck adulting. And I still don't feel right in this, you know, role and this imposter syndrome. Like, I feel like that's a great area to mine that you're already kind of exploring and can expand on. And I just think that there's something really fun with like the point of view of this younger guy. And for that, I would invite you to like do some research and to really explore like, because the thing that really hit me with that was like use of the terminology keg stands. And that was like the light bulb that went off in my head, and was like the thing that could really maybe like elevate this bit is like, what are the other fraternity, like college specific terms, and like just like challenge yourself to like how many can I incorporate into this dialogue every time this guy opens his dumb mouth. Like not that he's dumb, I'm projecting. I haven't had a lot of great experiences with frat guys. They've kind of made a reputation for themselves too. And then like again, kind of the note about segues, but I wanted to point out this bit because I felt like it was a real nice moment of like the crossover between like comedy and then just like actually kind of artful language, which I don't see a lot. And I think that like most of us laughed at this joke, but like the running through the orchard with your mouth open, like
Amazing.
there's something that was like very illustrative, and like I didn't say that word right for some reason, but like it like painted a picture in my mind, and it was just like kind of like a moment of transportation for a second, which I don't expect when I watch comedy, but like I don't know, that could like be very interesting as far as like something to delve into. And I know it like kind of crosses more into like the storytelling region versus the stand-up region for a second, but like I don't know, I feel like that could be cool to explore as like maybe a facet or a level to your voice. That's it for me.
Cool.
Awesome.
Thank you.
So this is really fun. It's always, I agree with a lot of what Tom said. I think what's fun about your style of comedy is that you do establish this vulnerability. So like, it's right that everybody is rooting for you, and that you have like a very unique style of comedy where it's, instead of like coming up like, I am invincible and I've got this huge like confidence, it's more of like it's a different energy that still carries jokes, and you still got great laughs. Oh my God, when you were like, oh, there's a white man who's already qualified in this. God, you know what? Thank God. Amazing. So I wrote down some just some things that like that you might want to consider in terms of delivery to help make your storytelling a little bit stronger. So when you do when you talk about I only get this one reaction when I tell people that I do comedy. I forget how you did it exactly. I wrote down what my suggestion is, but I don't remember exactly what you did, but it was kind of like this blurry transition from I am talking to you versus I'm doing the impression of it.
Oh.
So just establishing a strong, like, I only get one reaction when I tell people I do comedy, and this is it. And just say, and this is it, and then go into it. So we know that we're in the reaction world there. I loved your reoccurring I'm blankety blank fill in this years old. That was really great, but I would just suggest making sure that there's a strong similar inflection every time that you do it. Because you do have kind of like this like soft spoken thing, and it's fantastic and it's awesome, but just to make sure that we are clocking that bit, just like hit that inflection hard, stress it a little bit so that we're following you and we start to see the pattern that you're building. And then when you were telling like your whole funny story about the younger frat guy and everything, you do a lot of giggles during it, and that's fine. And I know that this is also new material, but as you get more comfortable with it, as you get it more memorized, try and use like the laughing that you do as more of like an accent or something, as opposed to laughing in between the sentences, so that we can follow it a little bit more. Imagine that you're trying to captivate the audience of like, and then listen to this, and then this was crazy. Like you're trying to get your friend to listen to every single detail of the story. Is that making sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And so, I mean, like, it's really good content. These are just suggestions to help the storytelling become a little bit clearer. But it's great content. I loved your, like, I've only told these jokes to my dog, but her taste is shit because she eats it. It was so good. Or poop, she eats poop. So it was, yeah, this is good. This is good, fresh material. I'm excited to see what you do with it.
Thank you. Thanks so much for feedback. Yeah.
Hell yeah, give it up one more time for Sonia, everybody. Woo, 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 woo. And also say, before we move on to our next comic, I did like completely forget to mention that because Lisa's not here, we're switching things up. So I'm trying to be giving writing advice for everybody who's watching and isn't familiar with the format of the show. And Becca is focusing on delivery and like performance aspects. So fuck yeah. That being said, give it up for one of our favorite comedians on this show, the one, the only, Amira Abu Al-Sad. Woo, 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 woo!
Thank you. How is everyone?
Great.
Woo! Woo!
I don't care. This is about me. So I had a date with this vegan guy, but he canceled. It turns out vegans don't like to hurt animals, but have no problem hurting me. Am I not a mammal? I mean, I wear a lot of leopard. He also canceled through my sister. He has my number, but chose to do it that way. And I was like, oh, okay, it's fine. I mein, he was wearing like these hot pink sneakers, so I think it's to match his personality. Being a little bitch. So I don't really like him anyway. He's like this really bossy vegan boxing instructor, and he was like uppercut, jump rope, don't eat cheesecake. And I'm like, I need to eat as many eggs as I can because I'm getting older. I'm not going to be able to have children. How science works. Didn't go to college, but I don't know. So I'm obviously having trouble dating, finding a Muslim guy to marry, because my parents decided to move here and put this religious rule on me. It's fun. So I'm just going to trick a guy. I'm going to tell him, because we need to pray 5 times a day as a Muslim. So I'm just going to be like, there's a new kind of yoga. So like instead of reading chapters from the Quran, it's mantras. And, instead of facing towards God, prostrating, I don't know what the word is, but I usually don't use this one. Anyway, we're doing child's pose and chair pose. We're facing towards Mecca, but it's not prayer at all. Don't worry. And then they'd be like, my bacon tastes weird. And switched it secretly to turkey bacon. I'm like, no, it's just a new type of butter. Me and this guy recently were dating. We went out a little bit, not really out, but like on Zoom. And I hit a new low. We broke up after 24 hours, which was nice. Surpassed my goals of going low. Yeah, so he was like, we cool? Because we're friends now. And I'm like, yeah, we're so cool, we're frozen.
Oh.
But I can't let it go. I think that's how everyone wants their friendships to be frozen. Wendy's meat isn't even frozen. It's always fresh. I wish my friendship with him was like Wendy's meat. But not their chili, because that's gross. All right. So I heard you're supposed to put yourself out there if you want to find someone, but I'm an agoraphobe. I'm afraid to leave the house, so I expect the same results by keeping myself in there. So I've been like reading all these inspirational quotes, like you just have to be patient, listen to yourself, and you will find clarity, and stuff like that. And I'm like, yeah, I agree with it, but it's like, but why won't John call me back? And like my dad's always asking me like, hey, why do you keep wearing tight shirts and like low cut? And I'm like, well, I'm still single, right? Like, all right, that's how you get a man. I don't know. I'm still single. Apparently not. So I was like on a walk earlier. So I saw this guy. He put his legs out, and I was like, you know what? Maybe if I trip myself over his legs, we can meet and fall in love.
Oh.
But it was for nothing because he's married. Maybe next time I'll do it. Like I won't get a concussion, hopefully. Or maybe wear a helmet or something. On my walk, I realized like rollerblading, like men rollerblading is like the ultimate like man spreading. Like when you're rollerblading, like, I don't know. He just took up a lot of room on the sidewalk. I'm like, bitch, stay I don't really leave the house that much, so whenever I am outside, I feel awkward. Like, should I walk on this side of the like sidewalk, and like someone else is coming on the side? Should I move? Should they move? I have a lot of anxiety. And then my sister's like, just go on the grass, and I'm like, but there's dog poop there, and she's like, it's not that serious. And then like you have headphones in to calm your nerves, and then there's like a bike that almost runs over you. It's really fun to go outside. All right, I get my gigs like I get my men when someone can't come. And everyone leaves satisfied. Thank you.
Hey! Woo! Give it up for Amira, everybody! Woo, woo, woo,
woo! Thank you.
In the gallery view, you are good to go whenever, Rebecca.
Oh, okay, yes.
I'm trying to turn into a human, I promise.
Good
there
luck.
We go.
There he is. Yeah, that was really fun. A lot of really new stuff. That was really, really fun. First of all, again, I said it last week. I'm going to say it again. Your delivery of your first line of like, I don't care, it's about me, is just chef's kiss, beautiful. And the vegan joke is really like, it's being polished really, really well. I'm really enjoying that. I loved your, we're so chill, like we're frozen. We're so cool that we're frozen. And then you lead into like the let it go pun. My only suggestion in terms of like delivery, it took me a second to realize that it was a Frozen reference and everything. And so I'm wondering if you wanted to stress, but I cannot let it go, and just like kind of like stress that I can't pause, set it up, present the pun. I don't know, something to play with in terms of like delivery and stuff. You might get just like people might catch up a little bit faster, or maybe you're holding their hand. I don't know, something just to play with there.
Or like the tone of the song, maybe.
Yeah, even that, actually, that'd be fun too. Yeah. Especially if you're going to be doing it in the same set where you do like the Aladdin jokes, the Aladdin songs and stuff. So just do a whole Disney medley. That'd be fantastic. When you're talking about all the mantras and everything, and then you say, but why won't John call me back? I thought it might be if the punchline said, which mantra will tell me why John won't call me back, just to kind of tie that punchline a little bit more to kind of like the setup that you're doing right now, at least to me. And like, if you disagree, by all means ignore it, but like, at least to me, they seem a little separated, and it just kind of helps like connect the dots that you're setting up there, of which mantra will tell me, and then go into your punchline. This is also just like a very, very tiny note of just because this is just for Zoom, because everybody lives all over the world. When we do these like open mic or online virtual mics and stuff, when you say moving here, just establish like where here is. You can like, and it might even be fun just to say what state you're in. Or are you in the United States? Okay.
I'm in Boston.
I was about to say, I think I remember you saying Boston a long time ago. But.
Yeah. So just like giving you some like extra, like making it a little bit more specific and everything, but just to establish that, because we can live anywhere with these virtual mics and stuff. But those were just the notes that I wrote down. This is really fun new material, and yeah, this is great. And honestly, just your opening line is my favorite thing in the world. Thank you.
Woo, 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 woo. All right. I'm gonna talk now. Here we go. You had me right off the bat. Similarly to Sonia's set, like you also brought a ton of new material to the mic, which at least for me, I don't know how long you've been working on this elsewhere. I feel like I follow you on social media. I'm like, oh my God, look at her. She's hitting up all these live mics. She is killing it, doing the Zoom comedy. But if this was newer for us, you know, I appreciate it. One of the first things you got me with was the whole vegan set, and I thought like the whole like wearing leopard print was a really cute joke. I unfortunately, because of the type of sense of humor that I have and the lack of a filter that I have, I was like trying to think of a way to connect, like, you know, you being dressed as a leopard and having a vegan eat you, like maybe something there, just like a sense of irony. Again, totally sorry if that is just like super creepy. But I thought that like, I wonder if for the vegan set, if there's like a way to rearrange it a little bit, because I really like he's wearing hot pink sneakers, and that basically leads into him being a little bitch. I wonder if we arrange that differently so it comes just like slightly later, that like you've prepared the audience enough for that, because there was just like a tiny part of me, and again, this may just be me too, but like I was like, ooh, that was a little harsh for a second. You immediately won me back, but it's just something to be aware of, that like maybe that's something to try. And
just not in the beginning of the set, or just not in the beginning of telling you guys about vegan guy?
About vegan guy. I thought the way you started the set was great. And I think that like just for that veganism bit, put it a little bit later. But other comments I loved, you know, how science works. Again, like we've talked about this before on the show before. Like, I think that like there are also some people, I'll preface this again. We had a show going called Laughing Into the Void where we interview comedians. And one of the things that we often question people about is whether they come from like an acting background or a writing background, or an improviser background, or like a more formal like stand-up background. And you have me thinking that like if you haven't yet, you should like try some improv, even though I know that's like super stigmatized as like something you never want to like do, because like taking dates to like say you do improv shows is just like cringe. But like you have really good asides. The one for me was, you know, when you're talking about like how science works, and like I didn't go to college, whatever. I feel like, and correct me if I'm wrong, but those are moments that are improvised in your set, and you kind of do from the feeling of the room. And even if not, I feel like I know you well enough at this point where like I know that that's a thing that you do. And I think that that's a strength of yours. And just like I think any moments in your set where you can build areas to respond spontaneously will be advantageous to you because you have that natural skill set and you should use it. Because not a lot of people have it and it's a lot harder to teach. But that being said, I love the premise of tricking like prayers into like yoga positions and like into a yoga routine to get like the hipsters on board with it. And I don't know if this was on purpose. It left me with a lot of question marks. I think you may have misspoke, but the word I heard you say in relationship to like that set was prostating.
So
Okay.
it's prostate, or it's like when you're leaning back, like you're, you know what I mean, like forward, whatever.
Okay. I heard prostrating. Maybe that's on me. That's on me. That's my Freudian slip there. But like, okay, cool. I feel really embarrassed now that I mentioned that. Anyway, so I won't give that note about like not randomly inserting prostrates into your set. But I also thought that there was room to develop as far as like just like focus in on the premise of like you are dating this totally healthy guy and he is perfect, except your one goal is to like make him unhealthy. Like there was something about your set that made me like I want to like almost see the scenes and the dialogue and like the turn it into like webisodes or a web series or whatever, but like you're dating a really healthy guy and your intention with him the whole time is like, man, how am I gonna like trick him into eating Wendy's and then like guide him through like his own reaction of discovering that he fucking loves Wendy's, and just like make him abandon all of his beliefs. That may be a little bit out there, but like, again, I think the essential premise is something that's worth exploring. I like your agoraphobe stuff. I felt that like the Frozen puns, there was a little bit of a benefit to them taking me by surprise. But going on to what Becca said, I think that if you totally want to have that land, her suggestion about the pause is 100% right. And I want to emphasize this because I think it's a teaching moment and like will apply to any aspiring comedians out there watching my little show, both viewers, like if you're ever in a similar scenario, like what the pause does is in addition to like giving people a second to catch up, it's also like a nonverbal cue to get them to like know that like any moment of silence within like the context of your 5-minute set, like you already only have 5 minutes anyway, and we have like set up that like laughs per second is a thing. So anytime you pause is going to indicate to the audience like, oh, I really need to listen to this. And that is the best time to introduce, I don't want to say like a higher level thinking joke like a pun, but something that may not be immediately obvious. If you take a pause, they'll be prepped to accept it, or at least to look out for it. Affirmation still being insecure, like I thought that was a great premise, like the dichotomy of like trying to work on yourself, but still like fucking hating yourself. And also like I think it'd be fun to look at like a whole series of violent meet cutes as far as like the tripping in order to like get this guy's attention. What other horribly violent things will you do to yourself to get this guy's attention? Either way, sorry to have gone on for so long. I'm gonna leave it there. Becca, why don't you introduce our next comedian?
Yes, our next comedian is Jessica Hudson. Everybody give it up. Woo!
Woo, 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 woo!
Woo. Thank you so much. So look, they say don't judge a book by its cover, right? You really can't tell who somebody is just because of the way they look. But I'm asking you, I want you to judge me by my cover. Yeah. I dress nice. I wear blazers. I wear pencil skirts. I wear high heels. I have my favorite handbag, the Kate Spade. I wear $40 red lipstick, you guys. Even to bed. Yeah, I gotta look good in my dreams too. I look like a real estate agent who just got paid from huge sale, but I don't sell houses. Heck, I can't even buy one. Yeah, the only place I can afford is a condo for my cat. I look like I have money. Let's be real, I do. But I'm actually fucking broke. I think it's because I live life on the edge, but not in a way that makes me want to skydive or bungee jump. I live on the edge with my finances. Some say it's irresponsible. I like to call it adventurous budgeting. You know the saying, live check to check. I wish I could last that long. I don't even make it to the next check. I live check to nada to overdrawn bank account.
Oh.
Yeah, it's amazing I even pay my rent. Good thing my landlord, she put me on a payment plan. But hey, guess what? I just got these new tattoos.
Woo!
Woo!
I feel that's a real investment in expressing myself rather than paying somebody else's mortgage.
Mm.
No, I'm addicted to candles. I love the delicious smells at Bath and Body Works. I really stock up when that sale comes around. They really come in handy when I have guests. That's because my electricity got shut off. But hey, check out my fresh manicure in the candlelight. No, I'm so glad I don't have a car payment. I drive a beater. It's a 2003 Mitsubishi Lancer. It has 150,000 miles on it, and the check engine light has been on since I got it. It really needs a paint job, but the interior is immaculate. Don't judge a car by its cover. No, when I get out of my car, dressed how I dress, my blazer, skirt, and heels, you would never know that's the car I actually drove. Anytime I go to a parking lot or a store, I purposely park next to a BMW or an Audi. That way I can take a selfie with it. Looks like I arrived in that car. Even the food I eat is pricey. I mean, I literally have expensive taste. I shop at Whole Foods, where you can get fancy gluten-free cupcakes. 4 for $10. I buy everything organic. I buy kale, almond milk, strawberries. Even my chapstick is organic. Yeah, I judge my food by its cover.
Oh.
Now, when I go to pay, the cashier always asks me, is it going to be cash or credit? I said, neither. And I pull out my food stamps card. She looks at me and says, with all the money you save on food, you really should get a new handbag. I think that's a knockoff. No, one time I was super high. I tried to pay for weed with my food stamps card. Yeah, the guy said, cash only, ma'am. And I said, but I'm buying edibles. Yeah, looks are deceiving. You would never know that I smoke weed. It's a part of my plant-based diet. All right, that's my time. I will give the 11 seconds back to the room.
Woo!
Woo, woo, woo! A whole 11 seconds. Look at us. Oh my God. Let me remove that spotlight. Turn out from clock form. Oh my God. And gallery view. Here we go. Jesus. I feel like everybody's bringing it tonight with the new material. Hell yeah. Like, let's go. I thought that, like, overall, I just want to, like, give you a shout out for like having so much intention with your set. Like, I feel like it had a very clear through line. I feel like the theme was clear from the top and then was like presented back to us for like callbacks and such, but like the judging a book by its cover was the theme. At least to my interpretation. If that just happened to be a coincidence, well, fuck me. But like for I imagine it was intentional, and like I appreciate just like seeing any intention or like a through line put through a comedy set. And also like I feel like I want to just mention, because we've mentioned this aspect in other notes that we've given through the show, but like that is one of the moves that appeals to me from the point of view of a producer. Like that is something where it's like it is storytelling, it is like they are able to be an act that is standalone. And something we used to mention on this show that appeals to producers is like if you can reference a previous act or the host like before you start your set, that's always great. But like this is another way to kind of like get that person specifically to kind of like ding ding ding, that is something that appeals to me. Because if I can like put you alone somewhere, that helps me all the more. But I think that you also start off well with like you introduce the premise of like to judge a book by its cover, not to go into like Becca's potentially like performance territory, but like I think that like there is room to play there, just like with that style of acting of like, because you went into the judging a book by its cover, and like I felt at the top of your set like you were like, look, I'm gonna tell you the story of like telling a book by its cover and it be real serious. And you kind of took me for a twist at the end when you like switched it up on me. But like that I think is like a good joke structure in general, is to like to play out an idea truthfully until the last second where you can pull the rug out from under them. And I thought that was pretty effective. Also, this was something I wrote down because like I almost don't want you to tell me if this is true, but like the $45 lipstick had me like really laughing and also really concerned for like the other things you revealed about your finances. What was that, Becca?
Lipstick costs. Good lipstick.
Oh shit. Oh no, my ignorance is showing. Oh god. This is why like I feel like there are so many benefits if I took people up on their offer to like guide me through drag, but like this is not the time or the place for that conversation. But also if you're watching, like leave your opinions in the comments. But like no, I also, on the note of like what you were trying to express, loved Cat Condo. I also think that like there's a huge premise to mine into with like the edgy lifestyle that is risky finances. And okay, so this was one thing that I wanted to suggest was for the chain that you have going. I think it is great, and you can just give it a couple more links. And for the joke I'm referencing specifically is check to nada to overdrawn to, I want you to come up with like a couple more for that, just because I think it has the potential. It could be a rule of threes like you're doing, but it also could be like one of those things where like you just go on and on with like listing next thing after the other to like, oh yeah, check to nada to overdrawn to applying for the next open slot at the homelessness shelter to, selling my teeth on the streets of 1800s France like Fantine and whatever that musical's called. I think it's Les Mis or something. Yeah, thank you, Becca. Thank you. It's really more a pacing decision than anything else, but I think it's at least worth considering. I thought, and I put this like with an asterisk in my notebook because I thought it was just a good idea, but selfies with a nice car just to look good for Instagram. I thought that like, I am laughing, but also I think this is just a good idea I need to try in my real life, because like how many great views that would get. And also I'm going through like a little bit of personal stuff where like my Instagram personally was just deleted by the website for no reason. But I also think that like again, bringing it all home for my first note, what really like sold me on the intention of it was when you ended with like all organic, kind of in the theme of like all the vegan sets tonight, but also like all organic, you know, I judge a book by its cover, was like, that was like the selling point for me. So good on you. Thank you so much for bringing so much new stuff to the set, and like so much like you know, well thought out, and like so much intention behind your writing. So grateful. Take it away, Becca.
Yes, I agree with what you said.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to talk over your
Yeah, don't talk over my compliments, Becca.
Sorry. I'll sign off right now and never return.
No!
So I definitely agree with Tom. I love the through line. It was really impressive, like how much content you could get out of this like one concept of like, please judge this cover. It's really important that you do. That was really, really impressive. Something for like when you first presented the I need you to judge this cover, there was kind of an inflection where I thought you were about to give us a punchline of explaining it, but there was a long pause, and then it took me a second to realize, oh, this is the joke. And I'm wondering, it was hard because we're on Zoom, and so like I can't see your full outfit, I can't see like the heels and stuff like that. So I'm wondering if like you would want to play with, please judge this cover. I mean, and then you can just like pose for a few seconds to really make sure we understand that you look hot as hell. And that you like put a lot of effort into it, just to kind of draw that home, just something to play with. I loved your joke. I like to call it adventurous budgeting. You said the line kind of all like at kind of like one tone, but I was wondering if you could like almost like put the term adventurous budgeting, say it like it's in cursive, and like say it like it is the most luxurious that you could take or something. Live, laugh, love, adventurous budgeting. Make it a little bit more dynamic because it's a great line. I loved your bit about the candles and where it led to. I'm actually stocking up on them because I don't have electricity. I wrote down maybe you wanted to call that like you stock up on them because you're investing in your future. Just something I don't know if you wanted to like bake into there. A similar note that I had for Amira that I could that you maybe play around with your one punchline of I literally have expensive taste is like putting a pause between have and expensive of like I literally have expensive taste, so that because when you said it was all at the same speed, so you kind of ran right over it. But if you could just kind of put quotation marks or underline expensive taste so we catch that, because it's a good joke, and just making sure that it has the space that it deserves. Is that feedback me? No? Okay.
It's okay. It looks like it's gone now.
Great. So that was those were like the suggestions that I had. It's really good content, just suggestions for like maybe polishing up the delivery of it, but it's really fun. And I think your tattoos are the coolest things I've ever seen.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so much for coming.
Woo, 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 woo! Give it up for Jessica, everybody! Yeah! We are on to our last comedian of the evening. I'm so excited that they were able to stop in. I hope they enjoy the show, but I'm just gonna go ahead and introduce our last comic. Her name, one word, is Sophia. Woo, 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 woo!
Woo! Thank you for having me. You guys are so sweet. I I was pretty scared during COVID, you guys. COVID had me wearing a face mask, face shield, and a butt plug. So, but I was like kind of afraid to get vaccinated. I have an anti-vaxxer dad, and I was really afraid to get vaccinated. Like the way I walked into that appointment was like I was about to marry the wrong man. Are you guys getting any feedback? I don't know if that's me.
No, I don't hear.
Good.
Okay, just checking.
All good.
Okay, sweet. Thank
Let me
you.
give you 10 seconds.
Huh?
I was just going to give you 10 seconds on the clock.
Oh, okay. Thank you. All right, sweet.
Yeah.
With that countdown, I feel like I'm like in like study hall, like in like or something. I'm like, all right, I got 4 minutes for this SAT question, but I got a really heavy period from the vaccine. Actually, I got like really bad side effects. Anybody here get like a heavy period from it? I'm just doing surveys. So I was really afraid, and I like called this nurse hotline, like get help, and I was panicking, and the nurse, she was like, you're fine, but if this continues, like maybe go to urgent care tomorrow. And I'm like hyperventilating, and I was freaking out, and I was like, this is gonna sound really weird, but every time I fart, I pass a massive blood clot, so she's just like holding my farts all night. And the lady was like, ma'am, whatever is passing through your vagina is gonna pass through regardless if you fart or not. There was like so much judgment in how she said fart, and because I kind of felt bad for her. Like this woman got her medical degree, and all she's doing is just giving me permission to fart on the phone. So I think she's a loser in this situation, you guys. She's not a loser. There's no losers. I'm bleeding. She wasn't bleeding. That's it. It's clear. I'm a single gal. Got single gals in here. Yeah. All right. I met this guy recently, this cute guy recently, and we were talking, and he did that thing. He did that thing that people in relationships do, where like I think he realized he like went too far in the flirting. You guys, the conversation was ripe with sexual energy. That's all I'm gonna say. But I think he realized like he'd gone too far, and then he did that thing that like people do where they're like, I think he like panicked, and he started just like name dropping his girlfriend like so much within the span of like 30 seconds just to like let me know he had one. He was like plugging his girlfriend like a comedian plugs their podcast. It was just like nonstop. Alrighty. I'm single, and like my last relationship like wasn't the best, and just let you know, like my therapist, she told me, she was like, Sophia, she was like, unhealthy relationships are a lot like a movie, and healthy relationships are like a short story. Makes sense for me because I don't like to read. So, but he was an evangelical Christian. We got any evangelicals here tonight? Sonia? No, you're not. Sonia, you do not. You look like the opposite of an evangelical Christian. You look like a very like sweet, wealthy, nonprofit, nice person. What am I doing? Like, I don't even know what that was a compliment. Okay? I was not like pigeonholing you. Okay. Anyway, but I was with an evangelical, and it was kind of weird me dating an evangelical. Like, I think if we were a celebrity couple, I think he would have been Joel Osteen, I would have been Kanye West. But I think he was trying to convert me into like a sister wife. Do you guys remember that sister wife show on TLC?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so if you've never seen it, okay, some of you know. If you haven't seen it though, okay, it was this show, and this guy, he had like 3 wives, and he'd like migrate between their apartments every night. He'd spend like one night with a different wife. I think that show should have been called Sisterhood of the Traveling Penis. Her name. For the record, I'd like a stationary penis. All right. But I haven't dated in a while, and my last boyfriend, he was like a very creative gaslighter. Like one time we were about to go mountain biking together, and he didn't want to put on a helmet. Side note, he was like really stupid, and but he didn't want to put on a helmet. And I was like, it's fine. Like, there's no use protecting what's inside there. So, so I'm not being mean. He was genuinely an awful person. I'm not just being a bitch. He was awful. So I'm roasting him for years after. That's my revenge. But anyway, we went mountain biking, but we were about to go on the trail, and we saw this sign that was like, warning, mountain lion on the loose. And I was like, we should probably leave. And he was like, baby, he's like, don't worry. He's like, I could absolutely destroy a mountain lion. I was like, no, you can't. Like, what's this guy gonna do? Do like jujitsu on a mountain lion? Like, it's crazy. And he genuinely was like, baby, why don't you trust me? I was like, it's not you. I just don't trust this mountain lion, which is like a sentence I never thought I'd say. So, all right, guys, thanks for having me.
Woo, woo, woo! Give it up, everybody, for Sophia. Oh my god, sorry, still turning into a human. Yeah, I'm gonna jump into it though. It is my turn, right, Becca?
I think so.
I feel like it is. Either way, you know, we're just gonna roll with it. It's not a huge deal. So like, way to start off strong though, and also with like a very like solid, structurally sound joke. The rule of threes. You had like the blank, and the butt plug, and that had me in here for you from the beginning. Like, I think that is such a good joke. Please, it will probably get old at some point, but for as ever long as it feels funny and like true to you, keep it in your set. I will go on to say that like the way that I know that is a great rule of threes joke is because for some reason it echoed in my mind the lion, the witch, and the butt plug. Like it was just like very similar syntax and like very funny like in and of itself. But like for some reason my brain went there. I also think that like heavy period from the vaccine. I felt like that whole section was really strong, and like you did what I want to mention for others who may be watching and we have given similar notes for, but like you do the thing that we always recommend people do when they do like maybe like more topical or more edgy things, which is like you have to like make fun of the other side, but then also like self-deprecate a little bit to kind of like balance things out to make it more like accessible. And I felt like you did a really good job doing that. Like, you know, and for some reason I put in quotes, good to just laugh. And that was more like not something that you said in your set, but like something that you just did. Oh, you know what? That note was for the crowd work that you were doing with me. Because I wanted to mention that like something that is great to do as a comedian, because like, you know, crowd work can be hit or miss. And like sometimes you do run into the danger of like, is the comedian like bringing something from the audience like that is like, I'm not expressing myself well. I'm basically trying to say that like sometimes the best response to an audience member is to just laugh at their joke and move on to the rest of your set. And I feel like that is like really powerful and like something that people should definitely take for their crowd work. Is like sometimes people think of like what is every possible answer somebody could have to the prompt that I give, and it's not about that. Sometimes just laugh. Permission to fart, super funny. Your whole fart bits, I thought, great. You know, as the writing expert on tonight's episode, I thought, you know, anytime you go for a fart, just like fucking go for it, you know? Oh, an interesting idea I thought was because a lot of the premise for like some of your later material, I felt like you were restraining yourself from actually name dropping the person you were referencing in your act, which I think is totally appropriate. You don't want to like mention people from your personal life in your act if you don't need to. However, a fun opportunity would be like, oh my God, I dated this awful guy. He is so horrible. he's hosting this mic tonight, and just like bring it back to like the host or like something to like keep it present. I thought that might be a fun opportunity. And for some reason I circled the quote, I don't like to read. I also put I thought there was something really charming about you in the way that you kind of improvise backing out of your own crowd work mid-set when you were like talking to Sonia about like, Sonia, you seem like you're so-and-so, and then like you were like realizing it was very endearing. And like if you were feeling at all insecure about it, I don't know about Sonia, she seemed to enjoy it. Y'all seem cool, but I will say, like, as an audience member, I sensed that like everything was kosher, and that like it was just really endearing. I thought that was very cute. Also just like generally like good pun, sisterhood of the traveling penis, like for the win. And if people don't get that reference, fuck them. And I hate how old I am. But the one last thing that I wanted to say for your set was like just the idea of like, feel free to talk shit about your exes. If it goes to an extreme, like feel free to change the name and protect their identity. But I think that like if he deserves it, obviously, like that is part of the comedian's journey, and like the reason why so many of us go into comedy is like to have these 5 minutes or however much time it is at these open mics to just like be our authentic selves for a second. And while I think that, being the sole owner of the narrative that is delivered during this time is a very important thing and something that needs to be given a certain amount of reverence and importance. I think that like I don't want you to deprive yourself of like, working through whatever you're trying to work through, because I know that that's a thing. Like stand-up comedy for a lot of people is like a way to work through the struggles that they have been through. So if giving a fake name to that person like helps you with that, what was that you said? That's the goal?
That's helpful because I was thinking I was being too mean, but it's helpful just to like hear what you're saying. I was like, maybe I could just kind of just write whatever I want and just see what happens.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'll also give you like the like formal from a writing standpoint. The reason why I think that I was more open to it during your set is because it came at the end. Because you have already established a relationship with the audience of like, you know me, you know who I am, I'm a good person. So therefore, if like I am delivering like not positive information about a person as the most like technical way to say it, like it's for a good reason. Either way, I'll leave it to Becca, but like I hope that was helpful. Again, yeah. I'm not Lisa.
That was helpful, thank you.
Hell yeah.
Awesome. So this was fun. You've got a really like strong commanding presence that you just like kind of like immediately grab everyone's attention. So like good to you on that. No matter what you said, like we were all listening. And you said great things. So check, you're good to go. Great mic, everyone. I had a couple of suggestions of just kind of like polishing delivery. Loved your bit about talking to the nurse and like saying like, hey, like this is gonna sound really weird, and when you say, should I hold in my farts, could you actually say that like you're a little embarrassed of like, this is gonna sound really weird. Oh. Should I hold in my farts? Just to kind of make it a little bit more dynamic, and then like having that extra layer of vulnerability or embarrassment, I think can make it like storytelling a little bit more dynamic. So something to play with. When you said, so when you like asked the crowd, like, did anybody else get like a heavy flow vaccine? If nobody did, that I don't know what the line is, but there's definitely an opportunity there of like, if you do get crickets, to say like, fine, I guess you all have like really tiny vaginas. I don't know, but just like, fine, just me. More blood, I don't know. More blood for me.
Yeah, no, that's a good actually that's a good point. There is like I could make some sort of like joke after that. Like there's something there. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, and even if like or also like look for like if somebody said like, yeah, me too, and be like, there's my like blood sister or something, like I don't know, but like talking about like a heavy period and bonding with someone, or if you're completely by yourself, yeah, there's definitely, think of some fun jokes that you could put there. I adored your I am seeking a stationary penis, and this is a joke that like, if you want to take it, by all means, I'm just like saying it's actually in my Tinder bio: heavy flow vagina seeking stationary penis. Do with that what you will, but I loved when you started talking about your boyfriend. I would also like just agreeing with what Tom said. If you want to like really go to town and shred this guy, by all means, I would love to hear an uncensored,
uncensored version.
Unfiltered
boyfriend roast.
That when you like when you start talking as your boyfriend and everything, both times you start off with baby, and it made me kind of, you already did it. It was kind of funny, but I would love for you just to go a tiny, not super far, but like a tiny bit further of giving him a little bit more of this distinct bro voice. And when he says baby, because you say it both times of like, baby, and like, but like, and every single time he has a line, he starts off with baby, which is such an annoying bro thing to say.
Such a fun character choice. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. And so like you're already doing it. I just kind of want to make you, if you're not already, making you conscious of you're saying baby in a funny way. And if you just want to say baby the same way before every line, and giving him just a slightly more distinct voice, not like a completely different character, but just a slightly more distinct dumb dude voice.
Yeah. No, that's a good point. Sometimes I forget to do that, and then when I remember to do it, the bit goes a lot better. So I think I'll like experiment with the dude voice.
Yeah. Not super far. I don't think it like, because I think that then we'll be like, okay, now we're watching a theater production, and I don't want that. But yeah, just like a little bit. You're there, just like a tiny little bit more of a push. But it was really great. This was really fun. Yeah, good job. Great. Look at this, like a whole mic of ladies.
Mic of ladies, yeah, I'm fucking loving this. Lisa missed out. No, I want to say, just like, give it up one more time for Sophia, everybody. Woo, 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 woo.
Thank you.
And I am just going to go. It feels really weird to do as like the guy at the mic, but I'm gonna spotlight myself and take us out. No, a big thank you to Becca and to the comedians for being so open to feedback. On a personal note, like, it has been really nice to kind of revisit this show as someone who hasn't been giving feedback for the last couple weeks. Oh yeah, this is really fun, and I hope you all had fun too, and I hope that you come back and, you know, we can work on our comedy selves together. But also, most importantly, thank you to our audience of potentially one, maybe two, for watching tonight. You all make it happen. And again, if you want to support the stream, you can do so at districtcomedy.io. If you want to be on the show, again, for future weeks, like districtcomedy.io/sign-up. That link is also in the description, whether you're watching on Twitch, Facebook, or YouTube. And I'll see you next week. But thank you all so much for coming out. Goodbye.